Hello again, it's Lock Noob, and this is a really fascinating lock. This is a van lock, V-A-N, not to be confused with the utility vehicle that you drive. This is the lock make. And you see these around locking up things like photo booths, vending machines, arcade cabinets and the such like, and they seem to only sell to trade, which means tracking one of these down is extra hard. I managed to find one on eBay and snappled it up as soon as I could. What is it? Why is it so interesting? Well, it's a variant on the tubular lock, apart from the fact that there is no way on the face to tension it. You have the key pins up here, the driver pins below, and the way you depress them and turn them is through the key, and you can see that the key has these little fingers. It's made of steel. You align that with the lock, press down, turn, and release a shackle, and you can see that it's got ball bearings, so it's anti-shim, really solid brass body and really thick hardened steel shackle. I believe it's about 10 millimeters, not too bad. So I have seen this lock on another channel, and I have to say that that's the reason I have this one today, is because I was fascinated by it. It's the first time I'd seen that lock, and ever since I saw it over a year ago, I think I just wanted one. However, I believe that I am probably the first person on YouTube, I don't know if ever, the first person on YouTube to pick one of these without damaging the lock. The other channel who picked this, they actually cut a groove into the front of the lock and use a screwdriver to tension it, and that did work. However, I don't like to use semi-destructive or destructive entry. I like to figure out a way to tension it. So the way this lock tensions itself is, like I said, the pins themselves go in, set the key pins to the right depth, get the drivers to the shear line, and the pins themselves act as the tensioning tool, which made me think, could I make tensioners which are cut to the shallowest pin depth, which means that I can use a couple of positions at a time to tension the core and swap between picks, tension tools. So I was thinking about using these Southord wafer lock tensioning tools. I mean, clearly they're too deep, but they were exactly the right spacing that I needed, as you can see here, to go in. So if I could limit the depth they go into, then I could get some reasonably universal tools for tensioning, which is what I did. I'm probably the only person to ever rebuy some of these tools, but that's what I've got. These tiny 1mm or so claws, which I can use to tension the lock while only depressing the pins a tiny amount. Now, I admit you could, in theory, overset one or two pins, but I believe there are enough pairs or positions around this lock. In fact, there are, I believe, 6 pairs of tension points around this lock that you'd be able to find a combination of 2 of them for nearly any lock. That's my theory anyway. So I reckon this is a valid way of entry for most of these van locks. Right, I'm going to cut away, load this into a vise, and show you how I tension and pick this lock without causing any damage to the body of the lock. And if you wonder why I'm being candid about the other picker, I didn't want to see this as a kind of me against them or anything like that. The way that the other channel did this was a perfectly valid way to open this lock. It's just not the challenge I set myself, which was to open this completely non-destructively. And I think I'm the first, at least the first YouTube channel to do that. So please carry on watching, and I'll show you how to open the lock.